Welcome, lovely people, to today's reading, which is all about you. We have 4 piles to choose from today, so if you can take a moment to choose which pile you feel the most drawn to. Some of you may find it helpful to meditate and see what is, I don't know, I guess if you get any direction as to what pile would be best for you. We have clear quartz for each of the 4 groups. For group 1 with the Empress card, we have a Lemurian seed quartz in like a clear quartz. We also have group 2 with the Judgement card with clear quartz. We have 8 of Pentacles with an aura clear quartz. So it's only a slight iridescence of the aura quartz left on all the coating. And for group 4 with the Lovers card, this is also just a plain clear quartz. Okay, so once you have chosen which group you're most drawn to, you can jump ahead using the timestamps in the description box, and hopefully we can find something for you that's really helpful. Welcome group 1 to tonight's reading, which is all about you. We have the Empress card and the Lemurian seed quartz. So if this is the group that you chose, this is your reading. First thing that I wanted to mention in tonight's reading is obviously our lighting's not great. That's just something that will be like a temporary situation and eventually get a little bit better. But it was specifically about using essential oils. So sometimes we can work with essential oils for a lot of different reasons, but they actually can have a great effect on our overall like vibrational being. You know, they can help us ground, and they can also help like lift us up out of things, and they can help open up our senses and I guess just help induce like high vibrational states of being in all sorts of different ways. I have one at the moment that I'm feeling called to share with you, and I'm just going to go through the list of essential oils that are actually in it. This is not like a generic brand. This is from a small business that I've bought at some markets where I am locally at the moment. So the essential oils listed, we have green mandarin, lemongrass, lavender, wintergreen, thyme, frankincense, Siberian fir, and cardamom. Now this, if anybody does happen to be local or is interested, I actually don't even know if this business has a website. I assume they do. It's probably worthwhile looking up. But the name of the business, or the brand of the essential oils, is Essential Moon Magic, and the name of this particular blend is Surrender and Letting Go. So I'm actually interested to see on what we have come through in the reading, if that's something that ends up being a bit of a message coming through. I already feel a little bit more anxious than usual. I feel like I'm going a little bit more fast paced than usual, and I'm probably not quite as grounded at the moment coming into the energy of this reading. So I actually think that something like this would probably be helpful. And look, you don't need to go out and buy it. Certain, like, I guess certain essential oils on their own can actually be quite nice. Like lavender is just a favorite for me across the board. You know, it's quite safe for most people, but not only that, it is like a really lovely, soft, grounding, like essential oil. I absolutely love it. So yeah, something nice there. But also the mandarin, and like the mix between the mandarin and the lavender is beautiful. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, so that's just something for anyone that works with energy or is just, I guess, curious to give it a go and see if that's helpful for them in some way. It might be. Okay. Moving on, so we have the Empress card. So we're actually going to be using the Rider-Waite deck tonight. So I'll just pop this up here. I'm just getting like a really strong feminine energy coming out. And then also the mention of like the Lemurian seed quartz. I feel like the Lemurians had a much more balanced state of being between their masculine and feminine energies that is probably, it's not even not common anymore. It's just, I don't think people really understand it properly. And I think it's something that the Lemurians did really well. I don't know, I'm being called to mention if anybody watching this has braids. They're like really significant for you. So this won't be for everyone. If you don't have, I don't know if I said braids or dreads. I meant dreads, but braids or dreads, either one's good. It's, yeah, if you don't have braids or dreads, don't worry about it. This reading could still be for you. It just could be like an extra tick of confirmation for a few select people in the group. But if you do have dreads or braids, let me know in the comments. That would be lovely confirmation. Do you know, actually, not even that, just if these readings resonate for you, let me know anyway, because it's nice to know when you're hitting the target. There's something here as well about symmetry being really important. And I've already got it off kilter. We're going to change this. And I don't know if this symmetry, if it's not symmetry, it's balance. And that wouldn't surprise me, how we've already talked about, you know, masculine and feminine energy. So, okay. So nothing else we need. I think that's good. Okay. All right, I'm getting a few things come through and I'm just gonna blurt them out, and then we'll go through and sort of move by the cards one by one and like go through the tarot itself. But the first thing that I was getting is that you are not the king, you are the queen. And regardless of your gender, we'll just take this for the message at hand that comes through. It's, you know, it doesn't matter about that. So I asked, what does it matter to be the queen? Or like, what's the difference to be the queen? And they just said, she is everything. She is the mother. She is everything. Keeping both feet flat on the earth will help you ground. There's always going to be like an element of like chaos or like dramatic people around to varying degrees in our lives, but how we conduct ourselves and how we carry ourselves and the energy that we hold and the space that we take up is specific to us, where we don't need to get caught up in anything. It's very much, this is like energy preservation. This is being so preoccupied in our own energy, with our own thoughts, our own feelings, our own, you know, mindfulness, being present for the task at hand or whatever moment is in front of us or presented to us. And taking the time to do like the little things. There's like a level of adornment that's coming through here that seems to be particularly more important than usual. And I'm even seeing things as far as, I don't know for anyone here that may wear makeup, if anyone is wearing makeup, if you like greener brands or like cleaner ingredients or something like that, more natural based ingredients, I'm being called to like pay attention to like her eyeshadow and her lip color, that it's like I see her using these like really natural ingredients. And this is so weird. I don't know why I am getting this stuff come through. It's just like things are coming through, and I'm just going to hope that this all matches up at the end. Usually, like, if anyone here, this is the first time that you've been to one of my YouTube readings, we generally do sort of work our way through it and string it together as we go. It's just some of the things that are coming through are sort of catching me off guard a bit, so just don't give it too much weight if it doesn't seem to resonate for you for this part either. If there is a line where you have to draw, you know, there is a point where you have to draw a line to say, yeah, this resonates, no, this doesn't. I'm not going to try to make something fit that actually just, you know, it's quite black and white where it's not my situation or my energy or something like that. Keep in mind, tonight's reading is all about you. So, you know, if you get partway through the reading, or if I get specific cues or specific pieces of information coming through, I will generally let you know if, you know, if this, I guess, this specific thing is not happening, then this may not actually be the reading for you. Keeping in mind that this is actually a general reading, and it's quite different to a personal reading where working with, I guess, a larger group of people here. So there will be some bits and pieces that are for some people and others for others. So we'll just keep going and see how we go. But basically, I'm definitely getting an element here of being more environmentally friendly, aware or conscious. I guess being more consciously aware of like sustainability and, yeah, using the natural products. And I don't know, it's so bizarre it's coming through, because this whole thing about brands is not something that I care for. It's not something I really want on my YouTube channel, but it's something that I'm seeing, so I'm just going to tell you. So the first thing that came through was like I had to mention like the name, the brand of this essential oil that we already talked about. But the second thing is, I went through a phase a few years ago, maybe even longer, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, where I was actually looking into different clean or green beauty products. And as I stumbled across one called 100% Pure, and it's like they use like natural pigments out of, I guess, natural products. So like beetroot was a really common one that you could use for like lip, cheek, and I guess eyelid color. So things like that. I don't know if that's something that somebody here wants to go look into, or if it's something that you're embracing, or maybe there are times where you would like to, I guess, use makeup for whatever reason, and maybe you were put off using makeup because of, I guess, a lot of the different ingredients that are in just not over the counter, but like store-bought makeup majority of the time. I think it's so much easier to get like clean ingredients now. Anyway, this is a YouTube tarot channel, and it is what's about you. So, you know, that might be for a specific few people, but regardless of that, regardless of your gender, regardless of whether you wear makeup or not, regardless of whether you have dreads or braids, there's definitely something here to do with like fertility, health, wellness, or well-being, and like adornments. And there's like, it's really taking care of yourself. It's taking the time to, I don't know, if you want to put a clip in your hair, you put a clip in your hair. And if you want to wear like that one clothing item that is like really comfortable, but you really love the way that it suits your body, or you like that color or something, there's like a level of luxury coming through here. And this is, do you know what it reminds me of? Like, I'm not getting the energy of Taurus, but it reminds me of like how the earth signs, like those physical, I don't know, like my brain is just flatlining here, like physical objects. Like if I really like a shirt, I really like a particular type of shirt, and I like the fabric to be, you know, a really nice like fabric. Oh, we're just gonna keep going. All right. Anyway, I guess to try to cut to the chase here, I feel like earth signs do like objects or physical abundance, whatever you want to call it, but they like it done well. They don't, yeah, okay. Anything else there? For some of you, may actually be pregnant, and it's like doing these small things are going to be what like really helps you embrace or embrace the embodiment of growing a being and like seeing yourself as part of the earth and connection to the earth and everything. Because, you know, like the way that I kind of see humans, I guess we eat foods that come from the earth and we grow even though we are born out of another human being. The fact that we eat from the earth says we're essentially made of earth, and then we give birth to a new human. So even though we continue to give birth and we die and we fertilize the soil and grow new food with the, you know, cycle repeating, we are really part of the earth. We do, where there's something here where we're like made of the same stuff, it's just in a different form. Okay, so it's like that ultimate connectedness and guidance, or there's like a being at one. And if you understand what it is to truly be human, you'll understand that there's much more to you than just this walking, talking avatar and the society that we live in. Depending where in the world you live, will depend on, I guess, what your cultural ideas are, and I guess you as a person, everyone's an individual as to whether you're necessarily spiritual or anything like that. So it's not quite enough. We've got something else here. There's for others of you, it's going to be like embracing like a natural beauty. For others of you, it's going to be getting out in nature settings and really like connecting in a tactile, physical way, like going to the beach and running your fingers through the sand and walking in the water, or going to some sort of like bushland or forest park or something like that, where you're able to go for a walk through the trees, and like there's a different smell to being in like a rainforest or something than there is just out and about in general, like in suburbia, I guess, or built up areas. I'm also getting something here about being the life giver. So look, I'm sure there's going to be a number of people that are pregnant here or have pregnancy on the on the horizon. There's also going to be other people in this group that actually just are mothers. You don't have to be a mother or be becoming a mother to embody this Empress energy. There's definitely great fertility here though, so it's like abundance in natural fertile settings. So it could also be like knowing that you have like a beautiful organic homegrown garden, like vegetable garden or something like that, or maybe you're into things like aquaponic setups or something like that, where there's, you're using the fish waste as, I guess, a fertilizer in a harmonious relationship for plants to grow plants or something like that, or even using little things. I'm hearing like tricks of like lay of the land or something like that. So, if you're gardening using companion planting and things like that, there's a real element here of like getting back to basics and being really rich in those basics, as well as everything that I've already mentioned. So for some of you, it is like an air of luxury and really loving like the physical objects that we love. Like we just like, even to a degree of like sentimental attachment, because you just look at it and you just love it. Like every time you see it, you just can't help yourself but love it even more. And I don't even know I don't feel like I've ever talked this much about how much I would love a physical object. I don't know, not even just in my life. Like I feel like this is a full tangent, right? We're going on a journey and we're not coming back. But let alone a YouTube tarot reading. So I don't know if any of you connect with like a real earthy energy, or you just, I don't know, maybe you really love like physical abundance or something. I still feel like I'm not getting the word right though, okay? So don't make too much fun of me, alright? Anyway, moving on. Nah, okay, this is getting next level. I'm being called to pull out a piece of clothing and show you. Alright, let's do it. Let's go. Alright, I don't know why we're doing this, but we're doing it anyway, okay? So, just, I don't think I've ever laughed so much through any video that I've ever done, but here we are. Living life. Loving it. Okay. I don't know. This isn't going to be most people's taste. That's okay, because it's not about really what it looks like. For some of you, it definitely will be 100% right. And we all have different colors that complement us, and still blows my mind I'm talking about this. But anyway, moving on. It's like the intricate finer details, and it's like appreciating the fabric that it's made out of, and it's like knowing that you're worth it and you feel really comfortable when you wear it, and it like is really good at like temperature regulation, and like it's really soft. And I don't just, if I repeat the same words like 2 or 3 times over here, I'm sorry, it's just what's coming through, okay? It's sort of like a lot of energy at the same time as they're trying to get me to pump this out. Now, this is a bit more of like a fragile work of art, if you will, where I guess it catches on things really easily. So it's something that needs to be taken care of, and it has to be washed in a wash bag, and it's something they recommend to not wash as often as you would with normal clothes. Like, I don't know why this is so bizarre. Anyway, and it's got these like little tassels on it that, I don't know, it wouldn't take much to break this, okay? And I'm usually quite a practical person, but so, and I have a child as well, so this would not normally be something I would want to wear with having like little kids pulling on it and touching it, but I also absolutely love it for just too many reasons, okay? Anyway, okay, so I feel like the whole point of that was not so that you could learn about me, but it was like an example of, they want you to find things that you love that much and just embrace it. Like, anything that you love, it doesn't matter what it is, like, it just, if you love it and you love it more, just buy it, or like save or cherish it, or like make it centerpiece. Okay, so that's what this is for. Now I understand. I haven't had this particular crystal out on display since the change of settings or environment here, and you would have noticed the change. I think it may have been like 3 or 4 videos ago where my desk color setup changed. Anyway, I used to have this beautiful, this is also clear quartz, it's just a lot bigger. I used to have this clear quartz out in, I don't know, at least like 60% of my videos in the older environment. And this is actually the first time being in the new environment that I've actually brought out. So not only has clear quartz been the theme crystal of this entire, you know, reading tonight, but to me, like, it's this giant crystal and it's a centerpiece, and I absolutely love it. And I've just like, I don't know. I'm like, we haven't even gotten past the first card, and I'm just, they want you, if there's something that you love, no matter what it is, just please try to find a way, like, you know, an honest, good, earnest way of getting that object. And even if it is only one that you have, put it, like, if there is something that's like decorative, make it a centerpiece, you know, give it the attention, put it in a place in your house where you can see it. Like, you walk past it regularly, it catches your eye, because it'll fill you up and it'll help change the vibration just by you seeing it all the time, constantly, because you like love it so much, and it gives you good feelings. Okay, all right, I feel like we're almost through this part. If there, I don't know, we're just still going with this, right? So there's like a level of like aesthetics coming through here as well. So if you have a particular aesthetic that you like a particular way of decorating the house or particular items. Like, I absolutely love seashells. I'm sure a lot of people do. Things like that. If you love the way it looks or it makes you feel good by having it around, please do that for yourself. If there's a piece of clothing that you're going to wear regularly and you love it, or it goes with everything or something like that, just please do it for yourself. I actually wonder to a degree if this group has neglected themselves, or there's maybe not neglected themselves. Like, for some of you it will be like having neglected yourself for a while, and so now is that time where you can really like nurture yourself again. And for others of you, it just may have been cases where life didn't permit those finer adornments or the extra things. Okay, so this is a time where they want you to do something for you, and it doesn't matter how small it is. It could be taking a flower out of a garden and putting it in your hair. It doesn't have to be this luxury thing where you go out and spend heaps of money, and it doesn't have to be, you know, something that's somebody else's ideal. It is literally just one small thing you can do that will either help you, make you feel beautiful, or help you, make you feel, I don't know, I guess like you deserve to have something that you like. There's something like that. And I mean, that also speaks true to, I guess, a lot of situations, but particularly to being a mother, because I feel like mothers usually put themselves last. Yeah. Okay, so now that we've got that part through, we can move on to the next card. I do just want to light this candle again because we need as many as we can get tonight. Okay, so yeah, you are the Queen. We've talked about all that. We've just spent the last 20 minutes, maybe not 20 minutes. It's probably 20 minutes. Okay, so I do see like a level of like dissatisfaction with life here, where even when something is offered to you, it's not really what you want, and it's hard to be grateful in those moments for the things that are coming in and probably are a blessing and a level of abundance, but they're not exactly what you want, and it's just not the same. And I appreciate that. I feel like I get like that as well. I think most people probably do at different times in life. But there's also a level of like beauty to be seen in what you already have and the things around you. And I don't even mean this as in just physical objects. This could be quite literally if you have a backyard, or, you know, you live in a place where there's a nature setting nearby that you can get out to. Go sit in nature and appreciate nature, and I guess look around at the wealth of fertility and how you feel sitting in nature after you've been there for an hour or even just half an hour, and see if you notice little things like your nervous system change. Like, see if you, I don't know, I guess if you're sitting there and you're not on a screen and your environment is calming, then it's probably going to have a calming effect on you that helps you be present in the moment. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so I feel like this being present helps you work out certain things in life that are important to you. And it doesn't matter what that is or what that looks like, as long as you understand that that's what's important to you. So that when you have a person come in and give you an offer, like a romantic offer of some kind, you can understand what's important to you, what's important to them, and you can try to find some level of balance between the two. Because it's important that you don't negate your own needs or wants, or neglect your own needs and wants, or put aside the things that are genuinely a priority to you. For some of you, it's not any of like the beauty stuff or the I guess, physical object stuff like luxury things. For some of you, it may genuinely just be like looking after your health and well-being. So like exercising and eating like good organic rich foods, like nutritiously rich foods, or like lots of fruit and vegetable, just like natural foods, not processed foods. Okay, not sure why we just felt really strong calls to touch on all of these points tonight, but we're going with it. So yeah, you need to know what's important to you, and you need to know what's important to your person. I feel like when this person comes in, they're going to tell you what's important to them anyway. They're going to have an offer to give to you. For those of you that are in a relationship, this may just be your current person presenting you some sort of offer. Like they may come to you with like a gift of some kind, or they may have like a confession of adoration, or there's whatever it is. Maybe they just tell you that they want to spend more time with you or something like that, okay? Because it's like they know what they want and they're trying to bring something to the table to you, and they're trying to do it in a way that I guess is what they think you would want, and what I guess they think they would like as well. And it's just a bit of a juggling act, like a balancing act, trying to find a happy medium or something in between. And even if it is like rough shores or like choppy waters or something like that, it's okay to walk away and start again. And it's really okay to take your time doing these things, because that working on yourself is for a lifetime. Like, you, not only do you have to live your life, and you have God knows how long left to be able to do that, but you're the person that is affected by how you live your life. And if you are not looking after yourself in a way that's conducive to your health and well-being, then you're the person that consequently suffers, right? These candles keep going out. This is not what we want. I wonder if some of you are quite literally burnt out, and this is kind of just that example of what can happen when you don't, I guess, when you don't stop to take the time to take care of yourself or do the things that you need to do, right? Anything else here? I feel like there's more. You know, there's also got to be like equal give and take too. We can't just be all one-sided. You can't just be the only person sacrificing something. There's got to be compromise, okay? Otherwise, if there's no compromise, then it is purely just sacrifice. And we shouldn't necessarily like give in order to receive, but we need to be making sure that we're not just being taken advantage of, okay? So with that said, we'll move on. We're going to take an oracle card. Okay. Hopefully this has been helpful or insightful in some way. Hopefully it's resonating, really. That's the main thing, right? I do think that if you're taking care of yourself, there's like an element of that overflows, where you then have the ability to take care of other people better as well. Okay, so the first card that we have is a time for healing, so that's great. So there really is like a time for rest and looking after yourself. And from the below to the above, yeah. It's okay for you to honor yourself, and it's okay for you to take the time to do the things you need to do to nurture yourself. Yeah, okay. So group 1, that's everything that I have for you for today's reading, which is all about you. As I mentioned, I hope that it resonated in some way and was helpful, and I'll see you all in another video. Hey, welcome group 2 to today's reading, which is all about you. If you chose the Judgment card and the clear quartz, then this is your reading. I do have something to mention about essential oils tonight. It's specifically about how essential oils can affect our vibration. And so it's something to be mindful of, that you can use them to help you in a sense where, I guess, if you have trouble with grounding, or if you would like to lift your vibration, or I guess, what am I trying to say? So quite a few essential oils have been like known to help for different things, right? So lavender is typically known as a calm, I guess, a more calming essential oil than others. So that's like a normal practical application of essential oils, but I guess what I'm talking about is in an energetic sense of how they can affect us, and I find them to be like a really beautiful tool to be able to work with. And I think it's all about getting the specific blend or specific oil for you that you like to work with. And yeah, okay, that's all that we need to worry about for now. Okay, so the cards that we're using tonight are actually going to be the Rider-Waite. I just get like an essence of you getting to work, or starting getting to work, or something like that. Starting the work, starting the foundational work, maybe, I'm not sure. And taking charge of your own life. And you may have someone overseeing you while you're doing this work. And regardless of what this person says or does, or if they think they know better, or even if they do, at the end of the day, it's you that's doing the work, not them. And there's something to be said about being the person on the front line, or something like that. I'm not really sure I understand what they're talking about just yet, but for others of you, spending this time building these foundational levels of like discernment, and I don't know, I think it's healthy discernment. You gain a lot of wisdom that you didn't previously have, and it helps you navigate your intuition better than you had previously. And for some of you, I guess it has that effect in turn of helping strengthen your intuition. So what else have we got here? For others of you, I think there's got to be a level of balance between what you need to do in your earthly life and what you need to do in your spiritual life, or something like that. I'm not really sure. And even, yeah, it may not be appreciated by people, and you may feel isolated or out in the cold in that sense. It makes it hard to embody who we are as a person, our not only just having the ability to be ourselves, but also just being able to be authentic. And I believe it's so important. It creates such a huge flow-on effect that impacts everyone around us. And if people understood it, they would just, you wouldn't even know how it would affect them in their lives. Like just being consciously aware of it and actively applying themselves. And it's unfortunate not everybody does, but not everybody's at the same point in their journey either. And all you can do is do what you can do, and anything more than that is outside of your control. So that is sort of where we are left. Now, there's something... I'm getting some level of like ebb and flow, give and take here. Yeah, that's okay. We're just going to keep moving. I guess some of you feel like you're, you know, having to either build defenses or foundations that you probably shouldn't have had to, or otherwise wouldn't have had to if certain things hadn't happened. And some people are going to, I guess, make sure that you see that through, or that, I don't know. There's like a level of judgment coming through here. I don't know what's going on with this energy here. First things first, I'm feeling like the bottom of the deck is important, which is the Two of Swords. But I'm not getting it as like a crossroads indecision. I'm getting it in like a duality or like a mirroring that's happening. There's something... On one hand, I feel like one person is being defensive, trying to protect themselves out of a point of necessity, and that the idea is to keep... They're protecting themselves, right? They want to keep people out and they want to look after number one. Then the people on the outside are just sitting back on their thrones and judging them and like saying, well, they could be doing this and they should be doing that, and they probably are doing so without having a lot of the information, or not all the information, to have like complete the picture, I guess, right? It's kind of I don't know if it's even unwarranted, or like it's just the fact that they don't actually know what they're talking about, because they didn't see everything that this other person had to do to get to where they are, to be able to, you know, even build a fence, let alone everything else that happened in their lives. So then there's like the flipping happening here, where it's actually, for some of you, maybe the person sitting in the throne going like, why are they trying to keep me out? Why are they being so defensive? I'm not doing anything to them. It's just kind of bizarre behavior, and I'm not really sure where this is coming from and why they're feeling affected, like they need to keep me out here. And it's kind of, to a degree, it's like, okay, well, you're welcome to do that. Like, you're welcome to build this fence or protect yourself if that's what you feel you need to do. That's good for you, and I only want you to be happy or comfortable in what you do for you. Like, there's a good level of respect there. I'm not going to come try to take your fence down, and I'm not going to come try to like trespass, or like, I guess I'm not going to try to overstep your boundaries, right? I think that's more what it's getting at. I'm not going to try to come into your personal space. I'm not going to overstep your boundaries. There's a healthy level of respect here. I'm not sure the steps that you're taking are necessary, like evidently necessary, but if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do, and I'm happy for you to do that, and that's okay. And you know, we acknowledge that we all have different things in life that we do to help us throughout our journey, acknowledging that everyone has a different journey intact, okay? Yeah. And I feel like, you know, that's coming from not only a place of like respect and humility, but also a bit of wisdom. So I'm not sure for this group which side you sit on, or if this is just a case that it's explaining, you know, each person's scenario, or if it really is something happening in the world that's being mirrored back to you for you to reflect on in some manner. And I feel like they're both quite innocent in their own like reflective, what is it, like both people in this situation are quite innocent in the way that they're navigating it. If anything, it's just how it can come across looking from the outside in when you don't have all the information, or you know, I guess our experiences shape us to a degree as well, okay? So yeah, this judgment seems to be like a theme throughout this reading, right? There's like, I feel like if you are not experiencing a great deal of judgment in your life from other people, like a level of scrutiny or something from friends and family for something that you've done or are doing, or a way of being or being yourself, or embodying or practicing something that means a lot to you or you consider a strong part of your identity, then there's some level of judgment outwardly. But I actually feel like for most of you, this is a case that this is something that you're dealing with, or you at least feel like you're dealing with. And yeah, okay. What I want to take a moment to point out is the blue, all the blue that we have in these cards, and that's that authenticity. It's like heartfelt authenticity and just making do with what you can. The thing is about all of this is that even if you feel discontented with whatever's happening, it's a really good opportunity for you to actually step further into your intuition or your practices or your inner wisdom or inner guidance. There's some sort of like knowing here that this group has. There's like a level of wisdom or something like that that this group embodies, and this is really a time that you need to be relying on your own wisdom and your own discernment, as opposed to other people's, you know, things that other people say. So if other people are saying things that are putting you down or making you second guess yourself, or, you know, they are speaking like they're coming from experience, and maybe they do have experience, and maybe it's not the same amount of experience, and maybe their experience was entirely different to yours, and it's not actually a competition of who has more or less experience, but they genuinely may lack that depth of understanding or insight that everyone's experience can be totally different, like a complete contrast. It's not so black and white. And it can be quite like a polarity, where it can quite literally be the opposite to what you think it is, or, you know, the million shades in between. Okay, now that we've got that done, I'm starting to feel like my heart center open up. I'm starting to feel a bit of emotion there. It's a little bit like raw, a little bit vulnerable, a little bit heavy. It's mostly like that vulnerable feeling, where it's like it might take a lot for you to get to a place where you do actively have to try to open your heart space, to only feel like you're leaving yourself vulnerable, but knowing that ultimately it's really healthy for you to have like an open heart in any situation, and it's all about how you take care of it in yourself, how you protect it, how you navigate the world or use it to take charge, how you use it to navigate your emotions, and how you feel like you're really tuning into the feelings and the sense of the world. There's something, I can't remember because it's been so long since I was looking into it, and I didn't get as far as looking into like any scientific studies, but as far as I'm aware, there's the heart itself has like its own, I guess, electromagnetic field or something like that, and it, what am I trying to say? I guess when you're energetically tuning into other people, like, I don't know if anyone truly understands how it happens on like an energetic or spiritual level, but if you have a very basic understanding of quantum physics, how that works, everything's energy, everything's connected, and energy can change at any point in time. And when one person's energy interacts with another person's energy, they can mix, or they can, I guess they take each other into account, or they can sort of change slightly. But I guess what happens is that can be a way in which you could read somebody's energy, and you don't necessarily have to have the person sitting right in front of you. They could be on the other side of the world, but because they are open to it, and that's what is it, like, that's your intention, that they're open to it, then you can connect. And we're getting really off track here. Just trying to get to the point of it. Basically, people's heart centers can give off their own electromagnetic field, or their own electromagnetic pulse, and that can actually be a real way of navigating the world through the things that we are not only feeling and putting out and attracting, but also the things that we are taking in from the environment around us. Okay, it can kind of be like, if you can imagine an animal, let's say fish, right? Fish are a really good example. And I think, I'm not sure, I can't remember, but I think the High Priestess might actually be like a Pisces representation. We all see, I'll check that anyway. But getting back to the point of the story, like, fish a lot of the time will pick up like vibration underwater, like movement underwater. Or there's certain, I think, like whales and stuff do it using like sonar frequency and whatnot, where they're picking up on something that they can't even see, and it's just because they're connecting. Anyway, we're getting off track, and I'm not educated enough on the subject, but I hope that that gets the point across and we can move on. For some of you, this is like a call to step into your intuition and strengthen it, to find daily practices and things that you can do to strengthen it and to maintain. It's mostly to strengthen it. Yeah, I'm not sure if some of you really have any practices or not, but meditation would be key for just about most people. But you'll always find your own thing that you do that is most helpful to you. And I feel like for this group in particular, no matter how small it may be, there's like a level of like fruits here. Like, it will be a fruitful practice for you. Okay, so anything else? I am getting some sort of mention of like intricate arts of work over time, so this may be something that you work on for, you know, decades, depending how old you are and all of that. But this could also be like hidden wisdom or hidden knowledge, that esoteric knowledge that's like passed down, and it doesn't have to be through family. It could be something like you do learn to lean into your intuitive senses, and then you start acquiring like esoteric knowledge without having really developed your own knowledge through experience as well. So that could be something. I do think it can be really hard to navigate finding a balance between developing or leaning into your own intuition and navigating the real world or the general consensus of people around us, especially if it's not something that they understand. And that's okay, because it's not necessarily where they're at in this stage of life. And even if it does have you feeling like you're at a crossroads and you're not sure which way to go, like, some of you may question it as much as, do I just forget that this part of my life exists and step back into, like, quote, air quotes, like the real world, just because it's how other people refer to it. It's just like, it annoys me so much. I'm not here to judge and anything like that, but it annoys me when other people will when people in general, not other people, just when people will refer to it as, you know, not being the real world with like spiritual stuff and everything, because it is a massive part of the real world for so many people. And I think if they understood everything that they were as a human, then maybe they would understand that. But that's okay, because it's not, again, that's their journey. So I actually wonder, for some of you, not only could you be copying this level of judgment from other people, but it's also, it can be hard being the person on the receiving end of this to try to not judge people back for the way that they treat you or for their lack of understanding. So we all have different life experiences, and different parts of our lives happen at different times for different reasons, and divine timing is such a thing, and that's okay, because that's their journey and you've got yours. So with that said, even if it's a struggle, I do feel like there's like a level of hardship here that I guess comes with the territory of not feeling maybe understood in a sense of the people that are around us, where physical well-being is in regard, like, how do I say it? Just because something may have a mental or emotional effect on you, it doesn't mean that it doesn't affect you physically. And if you're feeling quite lonely in your journey, or like there's not a lot of support around, doesn't mean that it doesn't take a toll on you, okay? So that's what we're looking at. The good news is that you do get through it, and it's that extra level of insight and experience that you have, and if nothing else, it is character development. So we are going to take some more cards. I don't want that to sound like a cop-out. It's there we go. Do you know what it makes for? A really happy, well-balanced, holistic family setting. We got 3. Where life is really balanced and grounded. And we do find a way to live our lives in an integrated manner. And we become more in touch with ourselves. And there's a healthy level of respect where we're able to do so. And we're able to embody that. It doesn't have to be for everyone else, but we can live our lives in a way that doesn't affect others, and we are still happy. And that's everything that I have for you all today, group 2. I hope that this resonated or was helpful in some way. Let me know if it does resonate in the comments, just so that we know, yeah, I guess that it does. Anyway, see you in another video, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of your night or day. Hey, welcome group 3 to tonight's reading, or today's reading, which is all about you. So if you chose the 8 of Pentacles and the Aura Clear Quartz, then this is your group. With the Aura Quartz, there's like something special here in the average. There's some sort of, you might not see it from far away, but maybe up close. And to see if we can catch, it's like a little bit of color there. It's not super bright, but there are different angles, has different colors show up, and there are a few like rainbow inclusions even in this inside of the clear quartz, even if it's not the actual iridescence like aura coating itself. But nonetheless, there's something special that it does take that extra moment to catch a glimpse at. But I feel like even without that, it's still beautiful anyway. So, 8 of Pentacles. I feel like for this group, I want to talk about your time, like how you're divvying up your time or working out your priorities of things that you want to achieve in life, and what's important to you and how you get there, and being efficient, and you know, the things that we have to do to keep like the train running in order to enjoy life. And this could very well be a message for me just as much as it is for you. So this will be interesting to see what we get coming out here tonight. I'm just going to take a moment and see what I can pick up on. First thing is that I do get that this comes from like a heart-centered approach. So I don't know if you're doing like some sort of introspection on your life, like where it's at, some sort of take, like what it is that you need to do, and like a level of reevaluation or evaluation. Okay, so 1 is for the things that we need. 2 is for the things that we greed. 3 is for the things that we heed. 4 is for the things that we wish we didn't need. 5 is for like the times of deep introspection. Needs, yeah. 6 is for everything in between. 7 is for a great time. And 8's for a nursery rhyme. Okay, so anyway, if I don't give that too much attention if it's not something that resonates or is like a confirmation for you. So yeah, it's confirmation for me for everything I've said so far for this reading, so we'll just run with that. Anyway, so we're using the Rider-Waite Tarot for the rest of the reading. That's exactly what we want. Okay. I feel like some of you are probably feeling like trapped in your, I don't know, like a slave to your work, or a slave to earning money, or a slave to society or capitalism, or a slave to your mortgage, or a slave to being a provider, a slave to responsibility, something like that here. And like, even if you don't feel like a slave, you just feel sort of trapped by it, or part of it's like, when will it ever be enough that I can actually break free of it? And then part of it is, even when you do break free from it, you still feel like you're still there. So I wonder if some of you have left like an old employment or job to go out on your own, or you've just left for something that means more to you. But it looks like we're starting off in the energy of like feeling trapped, getting some sort of like epiphany or like clarifying thought come through that we end up taking action on. And I think it makes you feel really good, and you probably talk to friends about it, and there's like celebration, because it's like, yes, there's a way out of this like rabbit hole, or there's a way out of this trap, and it's really fulfilling, and I can't wait. And I think you actually do leave, and if you haven't left already, like, there's going to be, you know, different people in this group will be at different points of the timeline, but we'll just keep going here. If you don't leave, you probably will leave, and I feel like you'll be putting out to the world what it is that you have to offer, that comes from that heart-centered space and all that like emotional space. There's some, I wonder if for some of you what you offer is like an emotionally supportive investment or something like that. It's like you're offering people fulfillment, supportment, it's not a word, support, nourishment, or some sort of like riches and like well-being. So yeah, okay. Now for some of you it will be like giving life to people in a specific way that might not be as black and white as bringing a person back to life in a hospital. You know, it's sort of that thing that I guess, gives them purpose. Okay, so there's something like that. There's like a level of purpose that you're enacting on, yeah. And it's something that may take a long time, and it may take a lot of work, and it may be something that you just develop over time. You sit back and watch it grow, and it might not work. There might be a sense of like grief for having thrown away the initial job, and maybe it's not that. There might be a sense of grief that it doesn't actually work out in the ways that maybe you thought it would. Maybe you thought what you had before was a total lack of fulfillment, and you find on going after whatever this thing is that you want that it's not necessarily fulfillment either, but at the end of the day, it's like not all is lost, and there's a way to return to something more similar to what you had, or whatever it is that you do learn from out of the situation. So it's like looking back is probably not going to make you feel better in this situation. Obviously, we need to process things as they happen and learn from the situation at hand and move forward. But, you know, the other side of it is that it may very well actually come to fruition at some stage, but it may cause us some sort of fallout. Like maybe you have friends or family or a partner that's not over the moon. Maybe they're not particularly like supportive in a way that you would have hoped that they would have been, and maybe there's some level of like separation from that person because they're not supporting you on your endeavors. And it's sad, like if we lose people in our lives, and maybe you don't actually lose them out of your life totally, but maybe you feel like you had to go through a period of separation with them while you go through this stage. And I don't know. I don't know. I guess sometimes there's not ever necessarily like a win-win outcome. And yeah. I'm just going to take a moment to see if I'm getting anything else come through here, because I feel like I'm not getting the whole picture here. Definitely feel like some of you are growing things. And maybe for some of you, you want to bury your head in sand. Maybe you feel like that now. Maybe at different times you do, or maybe on this pathway you will feel like you just want to bury your head in sand. Like you don't want to acknowledge what's happening or what's going on. I'm not sure what the situation is. A lot of it sounded to me like it was sort of work stuff at the start, but the more I look at it, I'm like, this could be all sorts of situations, and it doesn't have to be about work. It could be some sort of like project or something you're working towards. Like it doesn't have to be work. It could be, you know, buying the house, buying the car, having a family, looking after your health and like well-being, and, you know, enjoying life, like, you know, having enough to be able to do some things, so it's not all just like work and paying bills. And, you know, there's a real element of that could be part of it. And yeah, I feel like for some of you don't get enough time on your own, and if you could get a little bit of quiet downtime where you can just stop and take a breath, or you can do like a 5-minute meditation or something like that, would be really helpful for you. I definitely feel like I'm caught up in things that I should be doing, or there's like a real, I don't know why I'm getting the word synapses, so there's like something with the brain, and I wonder if it's like, synapses is generally like to do with, you know, what is it, like thoughts traveling and different connections in the brain, so it's like thoughts firing off. I wonder if there's like a pattern of thought here that's like a recurring thought, because it's either ingrained in us from when we're younger, or in our society or culture where we live, or it's something that we've told ourselves for a long time and there's something there that needs to change. And, you know, if it's not those things, there's kind of like a polarity in how we're looking at life, where part of us feels like a slave to the grind and the other part of us feels like we need to, I guess it's not like a polarity here, there's something different I'm not picking up on yet, but yeah, like being a slave to the grind and wanting to go out and do something on your own and really like do something fulfilling to you, and, you know, making it your purpose and passion and everything. Maybe purpose, there's, yeah, something more substantially more fulfilling than what you have been doing, okay? And it very well may give back to you over time. It just might not happen straight away, and that might be something that you encounter on this path. Okay. For some of you, I feel like you do your best work when you're well rested. And like, I guess when we're well rested, we have more clarity than usual. So there's also a mention here of the labradorite. Not sure if we can catch the flash on this. It would be really cool if we can. They're sort of different parts of it. Labradorite can be like a really protective crystal. There we go. That's what we want. It's so beautiful. It can be like a really protective crystal, and that may be something that you may be on the receiving end of a little bit of like evil eye stuff at the moment. And yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to take an oracle card. That's way too many. Hoping everybody's been well. My readings have not been, or my YouTube videos have not been as regular as what they were. And I think that might be something that we sort of experience over the next month or month and a half, just until things get a little bit more settled in my own time. But as soon as it does, we'll get back to more regular posting. Okay, so we got a time to share, and your truth is powerful. Wonder, like, have you guys talked to anyone about this? Like, is this just something that's like an internal thought or feeling, and that if you actually maybe haven't talked to anyone about it, and it kind of feels isolating because it's like you're just going on with what we're meant to do, and or what's like the norm or accepted. And if you did share it with people, you'd probably find, you know, granted that you've got the right people around you to share with, that burden, a lot of that burden would be halved, or that just sharing these thoughts and feelings with other people would probably be a level of fulfillment on its own, knowing that you're not alone in that journey. And yeah, the other side of it is that you might really underestimate yourself. Like, I'm getting something about being like a force to be reckoned with. And I think it's just one of those things that, like, you don't have to be some extraordinary hero, heroine type, archetypal figure to be a force to be reckoned with. You can just be like really good at your job, and you can just be like a powerhouse in day-to-day life. And so, yeah, and it's okay to not want to be that either. Yeah, I think having a little bit of quiet time to reflect or process or be present on this would be helpful for you in some way. But outside of that, thank you for joining me tonight. I hope that this did resonate and was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if that is the case, and I'll see you all in another video. Welcome group 4 to tonight's reading, or today's reading, which is all about you. And ironically, the card for group 4 is actually the Lovers, so maybe it's a little bit about you and another person just as much as it is about you. So hopefully we can take a little bit of time to look into that as well and see what we get. First off though, I feel like if there is something coming in for you, it's, you know, whether you have a person or not, if you have a person, I think a lot of the same stuff is going to apply. It's just that they're already here, they're not coming in. And if you actually don't have a person, then they are coming in pretty quickly. Like if they're not already here, like it's not far away at all. And there's definitely like a level of like understanding, like mental understanding, like even maybe like a spiritual understanding for some of you, to a point where I feel like your third eyes connect in some way. It's kind of like if you could imagine two people and you could see their energy centers or their chakras throughout their body illuminated within them. It would be like the third eyes connect, the crown connects, I think even the throat chakra connects, and the heart chakra. And then probably, depending on how it goes, all of the lower chakras could be connected. I definitely feel like the root chakra connects, maybe the sacral. I think the only one would be like the solar plexus here that you may need a little bit of work, but I think that's maybe part of that individual journey as well. So maybe that's what we're here to talk about, but we will take some cards and see if we can get some clarification or extra confirmation there, and we'll go from there. For some of you, getting like some sort of fire energy here as well. I felt called to touch on Sagittarius, but this card, like the Lovers card, doesn't represent Sagittarius, but it's just an energy that I was getting coming through, and that's not going to be relevant for everyone. I would tell you if it was something that should be part of this group, that if that's not for you, then don't try to make it fit, and maybe that part of the reading or this reading is not for you. But that will be a specific mention that maybe a few people out of this group, as it is a general reading, may work as extra confirmation for them, but it doesn't mean that if Sagittarius doesn't, I guess, specify to your situation, doesn't mean that this reading is not for you at this point. So we'll keep going and we'll see what we get. And although there is like a quickness to the energy here, and I'm not sure if it's you that's quite a quick person, maybe even a level of like impatience or something. If it's not that, I do feel like there is a level here of like a quick like ignition, like the igniting of like your passion, the passion being ignited really quickly in this connection, something like that. Maybe you guys move really quickly, or you want to move really quickly. I'm not quite sure. I don't, yeah, it's funny because I don't feel like that's how it starts. I just feel like maybe there's like a rapid increase. Okay. So for some of you, there's going to be like a couple different starting points depending where you are, will depend like, you know, where your timeline falls. Excuse me, where your story falls in this timeline. So for some of you, you've been through a period of time where you've been, I guess, kind of just working on keeping people out and protecting yourself. And for others of you, been trying to work on finding balance within your own life and within yourself, let alone working in with another person or finding compromise in other areas. And relatively, or the reality of the situation is that you do, I feel like a lot of you do know that someone's coming in if they're not there already. If they are there, you may have like a really strong intuitive sense that this is 100% your person. But I don't know what's happening here, because it's like, I guess, a union's formed and there is like a strong celebration, but there's still something on the cards here about like what what's happening, where do I go next, what do I do next? And I don't think it's actually about your person. I think it might be about just like looking at other areas of your life, like what really means a lot to me in life. You know, is it having like the house and the car and the white picket fence and the family, or is it following my weirdest, wildest dreams and traveling overseas and going to exotic places and going on like a spiritual mission or journey, like pilgrimage, if you will? And is it that, or is it really just like keeping my head down and working for like the finer things and the luxuries in life? Or is it you know, being in touch with nature and eating organic foods? Or is it like trying to keep out the snakes, or trying not to be filled by things that aren't really there? They're not really reality. It's just things that other people have told you they are. And then, I don't know, it's part of it just like making your way through the world because you're a human, and it's just part of maybe you move in an instinctual or primal way, and that's all that is. But I feel like we're getting very off topic here, but maybe these are some of the ways that you've been feeling, or some of the things that have been or are happening for you. So okay, I'm definitely getting that this person is a divine counterpart for you. Yeah. Anything else wouldn't be the same. Yeah, there must be like a very specific, a very unique, like an electric connection. There's some, yeah, there's just, I think that you see each other. I think that you understand each other or see each other. You feel seen. You both feel seen. You feel understood, and you feel a strong connection. I think that this connection causes you to reevaluate the rest of your life. Like how you do things, how you have done things, how you will continue to do them, what matters most to you, how you'll go about it, and everything in between. This is, I don't know why I'm weirdly being called to mention it now, but I think I've mentioned it for every group so far, that I had a strong call to talk about how essential oils can affect our vibration and affect us on like an energetic level. They can help ground us, they can help lift us into high vibration, they can help calm us, you know, all sorts of things. So if that's something that you feel called to or drawn to, I feel like you will already know within yourself. Yeah, that's what we need to touch on. I think this person's really important to your life and to your well-being, and I've got to say, even if you're a single person and it doesn't even look like there's a person on the horizon here for you, that there is a person coming in. So if you strongly believe that a relationship is something that's not on the cards for you, like you're just strongly against it, it's not something that you are even willing to entertain, this may not be your pile. You may be better off going back to the, I guess, pile selection and choosing a different group, because this very much is for a group that if you're not with someone, someone is coming in. And I guess just because we're not particularly open to it doesn't mean people don't come in. You may not actually end up with them, but I feel like for the majority of you here, you really do. I think this person affects your life deeply, like they impact it in great ways that you probably would not otherwise understand until you experience it. So I guess if nothing, maybe take that. Okay, moving on. Being called to talk about sacral chakra, and I'm not really sure why, because I feel like this was healthy. They're just sort of saying, do you know what's healthy about a sacral chakra? Everything that is not it. So everything else needs to be healthy working order for it to be in healthy working order as well. And I feel like this goes for all of the chakras, right? Like if one chakra is out, it can consequently throw out another chakra, and sometimes it can take a little bit to find where the actual initial or root imbalance is, and it is something that, you know, you can realign anyway, so that's fine. But I think what they're getting at is that this could probably be the first thing to be affected. Okay, so I guess in relationships, there's, first of all, sacral chakra can be like emotional vulnerability and emotional expression. It can be creativity, and it can also be intimacy. Yeah, so I feel like this particular reading is talking about intimacy can be affected if the others are not aligned. So do you feel safe? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel free to be yourself? Can you express yourself? Do you feel loved? Do you feel like you're in a state of giving love, like giving and receiving love? Yeah, I already said, can you be yourself? Can you communicate in a way that's conducive to other people as well as yourself, where people's needs aren't neglected, if that's a thing, and that you understand each other, and that you try to understand each other, okay? Because we don't always, like, we're human at the end of the day, but yeah, okay. I'm sure there's more to it than just that, but you know, there's lots of things that can affect it. Like, are we getting along? Do we have a secure environment around us? Like, do we have all of our needs met, basically? If we have our needs met, then, you know, the rest of it should be a lot easier. So yeah. I just feel like a feeling of security, a feeling of balance, and a feeling of being able to be yourself is what's the main really important things here. But I guess, like, yeah, feeling safe, and feeling safe is probably the number one thing, right? Feeling safe, having the ability to be like emotionally safe or emotionally vulnerable, and having that be honored gives that sense of safety. And ultimately, two people without self-worth isn't necessarily a union. It's more like a codependency, okay, where you really kind of need each other in a way that's not, it's not really love, even if it feels like it. I mean, I'm not trying to say that you can't love a person that you're codependent with. I'm just saying it's not, maybe it's not for the right reasons, if that makes sense, or it's just not healthy. There's something like that, okay? It's not, yeah, you've got to have a good level of self-importance and self-worth here, and the other person does too. You have to both be self-respecting to make the dream work, right? It's like teamwork makes the dream work, and finding another person to fill the parts of ourselves that we feel inadequate in is not the way to do it, I guess, is what they're trying to say. Okay, so we're just going to take an oracle card. There we go. Love forgives distance. That's really sweet. So there's, like, out of this whole deck, there's only really like a few cards that talk about partnership or love, and we actually got one of the few that do that, so that's really great. Okay, well, group 4, thank you for joining me tonight. If this resonated and was helpful in some way, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you all in another video.